Love Island season 7 finale. If y'all haven't watched it, listen, I didn't think I was gonna be watching it this summer either. Listen, I was one of them guys that said I would never watch those type of reality TV shows, and now look at me, a disappointment. I got dragged in. One of my best friends put me against my will to watch it. Shout out Nasia. Put me against my will to watch Love Island. I was like, I don't care about this. I don't want to watch it. 10 minutes go by. I'm getting into the people that are in the show. I'm getting pissed at their actions. So I'm just like, what are we doing here? Why aren't you getting with my boy Jeremiah back then? That was in episode 3. I was locked into episode 3. I was like, okay, this is something I gotta stick it through the whole way. Now, my thoughts about the ending. This is where I'm gonna start before they get to the final 4. I'm gonna start when Shelly and Ace got kicked off. And I'm seeing the news about how people were pissed at it. We're not gonna act like people didn't hate Shelly and Ace. Everybody hated Shelly and Ace, and I'm not gonna, y'all are sitting here and act like, oh my God, y'all are racist that y'all voted off Shelly and Ace. Y'all didn't like her. Huda and Chris should have been gone. And who voted for Iris and Pepe? You guys were dogging Shelly for 2 weeks straight. Her following count went down by 100K just cause she was on dick. She wasn't a girl's girl. So the switch up is wicked. The switch up is so wicked to me. And for people be delusional and act like, yeah, Shelly and Ace weren't gonna make it, come on. I wanted them to stay, cause I fuck with Ace. Now Shelly was I was fucking with Shelly, and then the whole Casa Amor thing happened. Try to have a little love triangle, shit wasn't happening. Shit just gave up, went back to your man. Listen, that's here or there though. But to act like everybody was gonna vote for Shelly and Ace, I knew they were going. And I'm one of the people that voted for Iris and Pepe. You know why? I fuck with Pepe, that's it. I just fuck with Pepe, and I knew they weren't gonna get a vote. And y'all can sue me. Y'all can sue me. I knew they weren't gonna get a vote, so I'm like, I'm gonna vote for them. Cause they did nothing wrong in the show. Everybody else had a fault. Huda, the whole thing before she even met Chris, whole Hurricane Huda, I wasn't voting for her. Landria, when she was doing that whole Taylor thing, I'm just like, bro, give it up. Taylor doesn't want you. And he made it clear when he said, I chose Clark, and you still went off. I'm just, it was beneficial. I agree you should have went off and did all that, but you just holding on to crumbs. Then who else was it? Who else was there? Amaya and Brian, I already knew they were gonna get votes, so I wasn't voting for them. I knew they were gonna win the whole thing. There's just no way they weren't, right? Everybody knew Amaya was gonna win. She's the people's princess. So here we go. Now we're in the final 4 with Amaya and Brian, Chris and Huda. Who else is there? Iris and Pepe. Oh yeah, Nick and Alandria. We get there and they're doing all their little dates or whatever. All the dates are going fine until you get to Chris and Huda's. Let's talk about it, bro. Cause that was the most wicked and savage shit I've ever seen from production, Chris, and that's it. So we get there, they had some shit to talk about. They had some shit to go through. Cause their relationship is dog shit. We know this, they have their faults. And they talk about it and Huda makes a decision talking about we should just be friends. But we're not gonna sit here and act like Chris wasn't pressing her to make that decision. She didn't wanna make it, but we all knew it was gonna happen. These guys at production are dickheads. Cause you see Huda crying. You see they are like they're not in that right estate to be still talking. They're just staring at each other. This man Chris got another glass of champagne because he said, all right, we friends, that's cool. Nigga poured another shot, it wasn't cool. It wasn't cool, why are you lying? But when that woman came up all the way up to that little hill or whatever with the little violin and says, hey guys, they weren't trying to hear that. And you finna sit there in their face and play sing out Moon River. That might have been top 10 saddest things I seen. And then after that, when it's time to leave or whatever, Chris said he can't take it, so he just walked off. This girl, Huda, starts crying and grabs the whole bottle. I'm not gonna lie, if I was Huda, I wouldn't even pour it in the cup. I would have just drunk it point blank. Pause. I would have drunk it point blank because there's no way in hell. After that, I don't know why she asked Chris, yo, are you gonna pick me up? Bro, you know he's gonna say no. That was stupid. That was so stupid. But now that we're done with that and they're just friends now, let's get to the final with the speeches. Let's go to the speeches. This also pissed me off. You know, everybody else having their lovely speeches. They saved Amaya and Brian for last. I forgot who went first. I think it was Iris and Pepe. That's cool. They had good little speeches. And then it was Huda and Chris. Why in the hell are they doing speeches and vows? They could have just skipped them all together. Cause they just said before they got there, talking about we're just friends. Why are we doing speeches? Those are the sorriest vows I've ever heard for friendship. It was cool, but like, why? We don't need that. Nick and Landry was tough, and Amaya and Brian's was tough. But here it is. I'm gonna say this, and people are gonna hate me for it. I don't mess with Nick and Landry. I didn't mess with it. I think they have an amazing friendship, but it was too late. It was too late in the show for them to be a Final Four couple. Taylor and Clark should have been there, but y'all hated Taylor just because he picked Clark, and Landry was amazing. Landry's an amazing girl. I mess with Landry, but we're not gonna act like Taylor and Clark didn't have the better connection, and y'all was hating on my boy Taylor. That's one. Ace and Shelly should have been in there just because they actually had a connection. And then honestly, if Hannah was still there, Hannah and Pepe would have been good. And then who else? Yeah, Amaya and Brian. That would have been. That's my 4. That is my 4. My top 4 that should have been there. Other than that, season 7 was all right. I mean, predictable ending. Amaya and Brian was gonna win. I was not letting Nick and Landry win on my watch. I think Nick and Landry is an amazing couple now, but it was just too late. I didn't like it in the show. I felt like he was with Sierra for too long. And this brings me to another thing. I didn't like Sierra from the get-go. I don't like Sierra. I thought he should have just chose Bella. Nick should have just chose Bella, and then he could have got with Landry. Bella would have been a way better choice than Sierra. You saw all that BS, but we're not gonna get in that rabbit hole. Other than that, season 7 was amazing. Not amazing. Not amazing. It was all right. It was all right ending. Season 6 next. Serena and Cordell, my goats. Just saying. And I will be watching Beyond the Villa because I miss Serena and Cordell. So now that we're done with that, let's get into it.